I want to introduce our guest today, who is a playful spirit. She is a self-described theater fairy, a certified psychodrama facilitator, and a multidimensional guide. She helps people to reconnect with their inner worlds, to explore the many fascinating parts of themselves, and experience life in a more joyful, expansive, and a connected way. And through the healing magic of play, movement, imagination, guided journeys, and even D&D-inspired dice adventures, Lili Kar creates transformative, multi-dimensional experiences for anyone who is ready to dive in. Lili, welcome to Human Design Redefined. I am ZenJen Pinkstone, and we are so excited to have you here and to share your beautiful energy with our audience today.
So much. I'm so excited to be here. I love the dark forest behind you. I feel
Oh,
like we're
thank
both
you.
fairies in different
It's my
in different forests.
whimsical forest sanctuary. That's how I
Beautiful.
imagine my closet office. I've heard one of my mentors called it a cloffice, and I was like, "Oh, what an ugly word." This is my magical, whimsical forest sanctuary. That's what so that's the purpose of that. Thank you. You're the only one who's ever asked me that.
Beautiful. I'm really enjoying the details, and yeah, it's like I discover more and more. I don't know if it will connect to the human design, but how much I enjoy the little details, like colors and textures, and just make me happy.
Oh yeah.
Seeing
Yeah,
you
it
right
changes
now.
everything, right? It changes the energy that you're able to bring to projects. It changes the energy that you're able to relate with other people, whether they're clients or family member. Like it reshapes your entire perspective and your experience, which shapes other people's experience in your orbit. Am I right?
Exactly. If you could see what's in front of me, it's like all of my favorites, little subjects, my favorite crystals and dolls and instruments and fairy lights. Like I love to have all the visual, beautiful things around me.
Oh, yes, indeed. And that's what really, really drew me to your energy field and why I had to have you on the show as a guest. Like, I just had to. I mean, I have encountered so much insight and inspiration myself from this power of play. Like, I knew you were a special soul the moment that my orbit intersected yours in the virtual space. And lo and behold, when I was able to generate your chart, which we will share with our audience here shortly, my curiosity was piqued by what I uncovered because it's not every day that I get to meet and interview a very rare self-projected projector like yourself. I have my own intrigues to explore about your energetic signature as it relates to human design. But first, I wanted to ask you, when someone like yourself calls themselves a theater fairy, I want to know, because we already kind of touched on this, but I want to know your unique perspective on what that means in everyday human life.
My magic, my gifts, my unique signature that I bring in my energy is really and always was through play. So I really feel like I'm floating in this life. Last year is more than ever because I'm really standing in it and allowing myself to express it and share it. It's really give this unique quality of play when we're just, tapping in this imagination dimension and just let ourselves really, explore all the possibilities, all the characters, different places, different forms inside of us. And I feel like I'm very naturally, with no effort, just like bring it.
I love
And
that. You like there was an energy to like there was a specific flavor of frequency whenever you said bring it. And I think
Mm.
it actually touches on what I find so fascinating about the self-projected projector. Like let me just describe what that is. A lot of I mean, your authority comes from your identity center in the very center of the body graph, and this is a very unusual authority because it's not a motor center. It's less associated with identity, even though it's called that, as it is with direction and movement and focus. It's a very different flavor of a energy center in the human body, and in a really interesting way it's where all of it kind of emerges from the center. Human design, the I guess you could say the circuitry of it is less like the chakra system in the radial, or rather the symmetrical is the word I'm looking for, straight up and down. It's more, it kind of radiates from the center almost like a flower is what I imagine. And the identity center is like the very heart of that, and from which all others emerge. And I just want to share for a few moments why, and then I'd love to hear your reflections on everything that I share, but what this description means to you. And we don't want to explore it as theory in a vacuum. I want to hear your personal human experience, Lili, because most humans, we have what's called an authority. Like I said, with the majority of the energy radiating from our body from one of the motor centers. But self-projected projectors, they throw this beautiful kink in that whole framework. Because your authority rests in your identity center, also known as your G center, that's not a motor at all, but it's like a compass of direction and the wellspring from which identity emerges. And rather than producing power, it emits this signal that's kind of like a homing beacon. And in fact, self-projected projectors, they reveal in and of themselves kind of the cracks in the old model that is so focused on authority and strategy. And those things are the status quo of human design. And we kind of break away from that mold here, because human design isn't just this, like we've talked about, a dry list of rules to follow, but it's this living organic system with that mystery at its core. And at that core is that identity center from which your authority emerges. So, yeah, does that hit home for you?
Yeah, I mean, really want to understand more about like what is mean. From what I know, from what people that open like the gates for human design, I understand that I get more clarity when I use words, when I speak about the things, which gave me like such a relief. Like, yes, this is what I do. I don't just sit quietly and get clarity. I write and I speak and I play and I say the things over and over and over again. And this is how I get clarity. And I have, been writing a journal ever since I was a really little girl, and always writing, always repeat. And in some point of my life, I thought, wow, like I thought something is off with that.
If it's off with it, I wouldn't know, because I'm quite the oddball that's always been off kilter with what the standard normie thing is. But that hits home for me, and it makes perfect sense, because the only other center that's defined in your body graph, which is a beautiful body graph of like so much openness. Like you are like right there close to being like a reflector with complete openness in your chart to receive, everything and be flavored by the whole entire world. throat center is less of it's not a motor center, it's not an awareness center. The way I like to think of it is a speaker system for a like a boombox or for like a theater. It is the delivery apparatus that, all of this that you need to share by way of your throat center, by way of your voice. It's emerging and it's emerging from the identity center, but it's being flavored by all of the others that you're picking up. You have this openness to receive just the full spectrum of the world's energy all around you. But this identity center it's like steering you in this very aligned direction that is uniquely Lili. And then the throat center serves as that speaker system to, express and to share with the illusory other out there.
Yeah. I mean, I get really moved when you speak about it, because it's it's something I feel like just the last years I really started to understand how much. I mean, I think it's important for everyone to express themselves, but this is like, for me, like, shifted everything in my life to start really, really using that, and not just, expressing to myself, which is also great, but just really, really putting myself out there. And yeah.
You're this world traveler too. You've traveled all over. I mean, I've been following you on socials for the last I guess it's close to a year now. Not very good with
Even.
2 years. Yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
bad with time concepts, but yeah, it's
just the concept.
like it goes by so fast. And you've been to how many countries in the last 2 years?
So many, so many,
So
really.
many.
So
And
many.
that kind of gives credence to the direction. For me, it feels resonant for me. Something that really pops out, something I find so striking. I feel that your presence alone acts like a beacon in this world, like just merging with your energy. I mean, you bring out the whimsical, playful fairy in me for sure. Like that's what I want to experience. That's what I want to experiment with whenever I see your stories pop across my feed. And it gives me kind of a taste of what it would be like to be in your midst, in your orbit. Was actually one who helped teach me this, like listening to how he describes things. I had to learn, like, because after I went into a mode of like everything must be on key, on perfect tone, and I have to make sure to press record and do this here and protocol this and protocol that. And he was like, yeah, you went from your divine feminine aspect to your divine masculine, and you went like in hypersonic speed from one to the other. I mean, this is me paraphrasing. He had a much more eloquent, lovely way of saying it, but that was how he described it. And I'm like, wow. And one of our first conversations was about how to balance these two, and that creates the magnetism of your very best life to just simply be drawn to you in a more effortless way. And that was one of the great epiphanies of my recent years that he helped me with. And so whenever I see the two of you traveling together, and like how ignited both of you are in your different ways, but like also the aura that's created together, it's been intriguing for me, and I've really enjoyed it. And now I'm enjoying just being in your aura separately from like, are you
Yeah.
picking up what I'm throwing down, Lily?
Yeah, of course, we have like our separate entities, and we have the couple entity, and each one of these is like a whole, different thing to interact with. So, yeah, and Harrison is like an amazing teacher to teach how to have a healthy masculine structure that everything can flow into. This is why he's such a good hostess. And it's really a beautiful art to learn. And it's also really helped me to connect to my feminine and to, yeah, just traveling with him, having him like as the masculine structure. When I started to feel so comfortable and relaxed in my feminine, then I could play with it. Then, all of a sudden I can be in my masculine and have the structure, and it can flow, but just to relax in my feminine essence, which before I met him was very, which I think we're gonna really connect to all the things we're gonna speak about, projectors.
And it's so interesting when I think about this particular flavor, your frequency of expression, Lily. Everywhere you go in the world, everywhere you've been, you have had this reverberating effect everywhere you've been. Like this effect that I'm feeling here in the virtual space connecting with you. You are moving from place to place and sharing it everywhere you go. And you're not someone who likes to just like chill in the hotel room with some champagne. I see you out and about and moving. Like you are out and experiencing the world around you, whatever that looks like and whatever that is, and whoever's there too. And I feel like this is very characteristic of a self-projected projector. I want to hear about your experience with that.
So I really started to travel a lot 2 years ago, and it was supposed to be just like a little, to be couple 3 months in India and come back to my very organized life that I thought I knew all about and what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have a clinic, and I'm going to get married and have the kids and do this, and like I was very, very much in a box. And the traveling actually opened so much for me to just experience what you said, that like wherever I come, wherever I go, I can bring this quality of playfulness, and I see how it's awake people all over, and it just really start to open me to this new expression of myself. Because before I was very under the limiting belief that, yeah, that I should kind of repress that and be much more realistic and do things in a very certain way. If it's psychodrama, there's a very certain way to do psychodrama, or almost anything in my life, a certain way to be in a relationship, a certain way to express. Some things you can express, some things you cannot. And this journey was really a journey of finding so much freedom, which was always like a hard desire. Because and this is something that human design really also gave me like a warm hug with, to understand that I'm not the kind of person that feels good to like do all the things all the time and initiate and be like this hustler. But where I came from, like very Western as society, like this is what I thought I was supposed to be, like be super in my masculine, be super ambitious, initiate all these opportunities for me, because otherwise they won't happen. And it felt really stressful and really limiting. And to step out of it, and obviously, like I met Harrison in the way, and so many amazing people that gave me the inspire and the encouragement. Yeah, you can do it. Like this is just limitation you hold. Dropped another one, dropped another one, dropped another one, and now I really experience my life so differently, and I know being a projector is really a lot about, you know, resting and recharging and doing things from a place of being invited to do the things, which feels really, really good. For me, like before, it will be labeled as, oh, I'm lazy, I'm not ambitious enough, I'm not like doing all the things all the time. And when I drop that, like all the things are happening very naturally, just flowing to me. Yeah, it's also a very like feminine essence. Like when we started to speak about it, it's something that I'm feeling I can really experience how powerful it is today.
Mm. I imagine, so yes, I imagine that you do get tired at times of certain scenarios. And I know that that is a stereotype of the projector, any kind of projector. There are other projectors, though, that have more energy than I do as a generator, which is an interesting thing that, I mean, we want to explore these nuances and how they happen, because there's a lot of sound bites out there about projectors not having their own energy and getting really tired all the time. And I imagine that you probably do, but what I would also imagine that with all of that openness in your chart, that you are a very empathic and receptive person as far as your ability to transmit other people's energy through your vessel. This is a lot, you get a lot more spectrum on this experience than other people do because of your openness. And I imagine that some people actually have the ability to energize you, whereas others will maybe drain your energy, you being around them. I imagine that this would be something that you would experience more than other people would. Would you agree with that statement?
I became so sensitive and so awake and alert to this kind of dynamic and energies, and like I feel it very, very much. Like right now I'm super energized by this encounter, and in the morning I met a really good friend that I was just like so much came through. And yeah, most of the people I interact with today like super energizing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And also I'm very sensitive, like a person can come into the room and I can feel super tired, like
Mm-hmm.
instant. And I understand that it's not something that, you know, still I'm always the most powerful thing in my reality. And it doesn't mean that I have to leave and to go rest or something if something like this happen. But it does mean I need to do something in this moment. And sometimes just the awareness of like, okay, there's a person. And yes, I'm very aware of it today that I'm very, very open and very empathic. That's like, I don't know why, but maybe he holds some, um, you know, maybe he's very tired and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
feeling it in my body right now. Maybe he's like something feels stuck for him and I'm just like, and yeah, to decide what I'm doing with this in every moment.
That's so interesting. So it's really the way I like to view a human design body graph, and yours is a perfect example that we can use to speak to this phenomena. Whenever we have those open centers in our chart, I think there is this misconception that we don't have the ability, like we don't have that. We don't have whatever that is. The openness means it's empty. And that, like, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, it means that those energies within you are dormant, and there is a lot of space for you to receive inspiration and energetic current flow from outside of your body, and to sample that and feel the difference from what you innately feel like. So a lot of openness in your chart actually allows for a lot more variability. It allows for a lot more variety. And so it's actually more and not less, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And
it does.
yeah,
Sorry.
it
Yeah.
does.
I'm just listening to Eckhart Tolle so much lately. This spaciousness,
Yes.
and I'm just like every time I have to stop. I just started to listen to him, and I have to stop because I have to enjoy the spaciousness.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and I understand more and more, like in a very embodiment way, how how nothing, how space is so full. It makes me feel so full to just.
There's an expansiveness about it that I really want our viewers to lean into, and to, like you mentioned, limiting beliefs a while ago. And I know that that's like a buzzword, and we hear like, you've got to get rid of your limiting beliefs, and you've got to, this is important in order to change your reality. And this
Yeah.
is true. But I don't think people know what that actually looks like sometimes.
Mm,
And whenever we are envisioning something, this brings us back to your area of expertise, Lili, where when we're imagining something as a certain way, even something as simple as the open centers in my chart means that I don't have that energy. It kind of conditions us in this whole different way than if we see it the other way that we just described, where it's actually just this open, expansive potential seats of power, where we are able to receive anything and everything that that energetic signature has to provide. That's what the more openness in our chart means. It kind of blows the whole assumptions and the misconceptions about human design wide open. It kind of challenges what we thought we knew about it, and your chart having that identity center connected to the throat center by way of the channel of inspiration. I was just like, oh la la, I gotta meet this lady, like seriously. There's so much happening here. And like that's what I think of. And it's not even the being a self-projected projector, that's not the only intriguing thing about your chart. You're also a 6-2 role model hermit. The line sixes, like myself, I tend to gravitate towards them and their wisdom. I feel a little bit snooty as a line six, and I'll tell you why. And maybe you can tell me if this resonates, and if it doesn't, it's fine. But line sixes, no one knows what it's like to be a line six, unless you are one. Our entire lifetime, it's like what Ra Uru Hu said about us was that we have to have the entire spectrum of the whole human experience kind of shoved and crammed into a single lifetime. And so there's a lot that happens before our first Saturn return, before we even reach age 30. It's like we've lived a longer lifetime than a lot of people. And then it continues on. And that's why it's called the role model, because by the time we hit after our second Saturn return, when we're age 50 to 60, we're kind of like the traveling sage. We're like a Yoda character, an all-knowing, soothsaying, insight reading person that like is not even trying anymore, and people are just following them around because like it's like we are this living library, because so much happens to us. Like we not just
Wow.
to us, but for us. And that's the life of a line six. And it's like we have to incorporate all of the other frequencies of all the other lines into our palette of experience in a single lifetime. And I'm curious if that resonates and if that's something that you have encountered yourself.
I never heard about that before, but as you were speaking, it's deeply resonated. And I thought it was, oh, it's just because it's, it sounds so good. You're a role model. But also because, yeah, I'm feeling like, so my parents always told me that I burst into this world like fire, that I couldn't, like, I just, and this is a fire that I really feel in me all of my life. I feel like my soul was so hungry to come here and to play like this endless playfield. I just needed to press all the buttons and meet all the people and have all the different like tastes and pain, and I wanted everything so extreme and really like my yeah, my like 30 years of my life. I'm 34, so I feel like the last 4 years I kind of started to come down, but maybe just this, I don't know even when. But yeah, a lot of like fire, a lot of hunger, a lot of like, oh, I really want to experience everything, and a lot of pain that's like, I wanted that pain because I wanted to really explore all the possibilities. So this is when you say like things that happen for us. Yes, of course, I asked for all the different variations of the game, and now there is something that's really releasing more and more of the drama and a bit cooling down the fire, like, and knowing that I can still be me and not have this like crazy fire going around all the time. It doesn't like take who I am from me. I'm still the same Lily. I'm still the same soul. But yeah, like enjoy the spaciousness more. Enjoy going to sleep super early. No FOMO of life. Like I am where the party happens. And if I'm just lying in bed like for 4 hours, this is exactly where I should be. And just like creating so much space in my life. So yeah, deeply resonate, and like I love to think about me as like this Yoda, just
Ah, but it's so important to take into context the self-projected projector aspect in with that role model, and also the hermit, like the role model and hermit connection, the 6-2s. My partner is also a 6-2, and they're very interesting people because the line 2, which is in your unconscious aspect, it very much craves a sense of solitude at times in order to refill that cup and to reconnect with that magic, because it can become diluted and distorted. It can feel very difficult to tap into when it becomes I don't want to say watered down like it's a bad thing, but certainly
yeah,
interacted with the other energies out there, and the line 2, that's why they're called the hermit, because they are very observed by the outside world, but there is this feeling like I need to retreat into my hidey hole of of magic and imagination, and return to my own energy, because there is this element that is where that magic comes from, that everyone's so curious about, that they want to be looking at you and what you're up to. But, your incarnation cross is the left angle cross of revolution. And what's so striking about the left angle geometry is that it indicates a destiny that's inherently interpersonal with other people. It's not
mm,
meant to be lived in isolation, like that hermit energy we were just talking about, but it's rather meant to be lived through encounters and exchanges with other people. So it feels almost like your revolution that you stand for isn't just yours by design. It's interwoven into all of these other lives that you intersect with, Lili. And every person you meet along the journey is this predestined karmic connection that's a sacred and profound connection for you both. And I'm curious if this hits home, if this is something that you're not quite landing there yet, and that's fine, like totally fine. I want to hear your reflections on this schematic I shared.
I had a couple of very, very deep past life
Mm,
remembering, really like remember the whole life and everything I felt, and the people, their souls are really like coming back more and more. And
mm,
I felt like I'm feeling like in this life, I kind of remember in an early stage that my mission is in interaction with people, that it's very, very important, that even if I feel like I just want to play with myself and there's a lot of shadows, like of not being understood the way I want, or not being loved the way I want, that I needed to like, okay, just step out of it, because your mission is so important and it's in the interaction. So I kind of feel like, spirit really helped me and support me to remember that, and to make the choice to step out and really, really be in relationship, be in deep relationship, and learn. And I'm still learning. It's everlasting to learn how to communicate my truth, and give love and receive love, and really not to shy away from relationships, because I always felt kind of the shadows invited me to like just retreat from relationships.
mm-hmm.
And a deeper part of me say like, but this is part of why you are so excited to come here, because it's such an important um agreements that you have
Mm.
with souls
I
that are you. Yes.
That's interesting. I love that you mentioned that, and it's spurring this musing for me that there was this reluctance, perhaps, that you called it the shadows, but to me, what I was hearing, and tell me if I'm wrong, it sounded like there was this reluctance to do this thing that some might call the higher self knew that you were here for. And that's really profound, and I believe that it applies to most people's true purpose. I think we're all out looking for this purpose, this illusory, ephemeral, kind of like smoke and mirrors, don't know what that looks like,
Mhm.
life purpose. And there is this sense that while we're doing that, ironically, we are running away from it
Mm.
at the simultaneously. I know that this has been my experience, what my life purpose actually is, and human design helped me to better comprehend that in a mapped out way that wasn't so, like you said, past life remembrances. We left angle crosses, girl. Like those just flood us sometimes. I'm writing a book about it right now, to get it
Wow.
all out
Can't
of
wait
my
to read
head and
it.
my heart, because it's so there for us. Yes, absolutely. And it's
Mm.
sometimes it is jarring, and other times it is delicious, and it's something that we go through as these beings that are here for the karmic connections that are so important to transmute and to transform as a result of that. And yeah, like I'm absolutely I'm syncing with that for you. Like we left angle crosses go through that for sure. But yeah, the life purpose is always staring us right in the face, but there's these inclinations of fear and, like you said, self-limiting beliefs that sometimes unconsciously we lead ourselves away from, and we don't want to look at that, you know. But then whenever we open ourselves up to it, we feel the resonance that was
Mm.
always meant to be ours.
I feel very much today that, if I used to think, oh, something like I really need to do. So today is just to allow myself be in interaction wherever I go, but just know that something is deeper happening without me needed to do anything, even more, like to do less, to like give the space for whatever want to come through this energy of playfulness. And the more I see that I can just do it with no effort, just like, bring myself, bring my energy, always, take care of myself and know that, like, if I need to cave in right now and to recharge and give myself, my me time, like, that's okay. But the more I allow myself to have no effort in the interaction, just be there, be there and let whatever needs to come through. Yeah, the more I feel energized and I don't need to go and cave in or ground every time I go out and meet all the people and do all the things.
Yeah, and that hits home for me when I look at the way that you work, Lily, passing by on my stories and on my feed, through your work with play and psychodrama and imagination. It feels to me like this gentle, ephemeral form of rebellion. And it's like this, like, because there's this essence, and I know that growing up, like you mentioned that when you were a child, you kept a journal from a very young age. I did too. I walked around everywhere with it. And it was a really
Still do.
important for me. Like no one does that anymore. Have you noticed? Like no one walks
I keep
around with
thinking
these.
that if, like, when the day come when I'll do the transition, like I have all of my life written down. Like, and it's
Wow.
getting more and more crazy because I'm writing, like, from more characters of myself, for more parts, for more dimension. It's like it would be so crazy for a person to just open randomly any, but yeah, I
One
love
day
to
they
have.
will, though. One day they
I
will.
know. Yeah, I know.
And isn't that a beautiful feeling that inspires inside? For me, it is.
It
Um,
is. It is.
it's
I
like
think it's
what
part
you're
of the
doing.
authority. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, just like part of the, wanting to give everything the full expression of all the words. Like it makes me happy to know that I have so many words that I expressed through my life ever since I was 10. It's like I'm because it's all here. I mean, like my childhood room right now. It's all here, like the million notebooks, and it feels good to have
Oh, that's
them.
so special.
Yeah.
You there is this annals and compiling of your existence here. And what I think what it does whether when people read it or they just hear you talk about that right now, what it's inviting people to do is to release these very rigid scripts that they've been handed and told that this is the standard and this is how they will live their life by. And it invites them to step into new and more expansive roles of what it means to be human. And in that way, I feel like your revolution that you're here for, it's not like what you would imagine a conventional revolution with, like, picketing line and people
I've been there in other
protesting
lives,
or
not
any
this
of
life.
that. It's a very different revolution, but it is nonetheless powerful, and it's very much needed for the human collective, I feel, at this time, because many of us are lost, Lily. We don't know what to do with ourselves. We don't know what to do with these rumblings inside of us. We don't know how to properly channel it into a healthy and healing form of expression. And I mean, there is this very deep need to reconnect with the power of play and imagination. And I feel the tenets of what the whole purpose of being human really is.
Definitely. Definitely. Really good to hear you saying all of this. And I'm really feeling it in my heart how because I'm very I stand in it right now. Like I really stand in it. I know that I'm bringing something very valuable, at least for the people that I found around me that are like attracted to my field, and to really like to stand in it and to know the revolution will come from this, not from wars and not from conflicts, but from like this beautiful, playful energy, this like connecting to what you've been shutting out, like all the imaginary words that are very real, very very real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really
You
moving.
serve as a reminder of remembrance, I feel. That's what is that's what's bubbling up for me. Because I will have my bouts where I am very deeply immersed in this world, this spirit world of which we speak. And then there will be other bouts where I am very not. And there is this element of duality in these two experiences. And there's but that's my human design. I'm a left angle cross of the plane, and I am meant to kind of straddle these two worlds of I mean, I see it everywhere. I kind of live in the transitional zone in between two worlds in so many different ways.
Wow.
But you embody this luminous reimagining of not only the self, but all of the things that the self can become, all of the things that the self can merge and mold into. And it's not so much shape shifting as it is taking the shape of a different container in a different time, in a different trajectory of experience, and inviting people into this whimsical play sequence and helping them. And it's
your truth, dear soul, let it flow. Let your voice be heard for all of us to know what you say. Vulnerability you bear will show the world the divine heart that we all share. Don't hide behind mask of illusion and lies, or let art dictate your life as opportunities arise. Your truth is unique, is one of a kind. It's what's made you so special and so hard to find. So speak your truth, let it be known. Don't be afraid, dear soul, to stand out alone, for in the end it's your life to live, and only you can choose which words you will give. Your truth may inspire, it may even change the way I see the world. Your perceptual range, divine truth is your birthright gift. It's what sets us all free when our journey shifts.
I feel like in a time when AI is highly processing our lives, that this is going to become more and more needed as time goes on, and not much time will need to pass before it's absolutely essential that we have these cornerstones of remembrance like yourself into it's a radical gift. It's very unusual and different, but you're showing us that in this new paradigm we are entering into, being human isn't about performing the old scripts. It's about discovering your own narrative and doing that with joy.
Yeah, and discovering can be very like it doesn't have to be such an active thing. It could be as simple as just giving the space to something to come through, and things, amazing things, always the most accurate things for all of your question will emerge from this space, that if you just give yourself the time, the opportunity, the safety to play or to imaginate, to daydream or to be in this imaginative zone. It will come, like something will come from there. And if we also take it with the understanding that everything that is coming from this dream realm has such an amazing effect of this beautiful simulation that we're living, this life that we're creating, we understand like this is our tools to create it. And AI in like it's just gonna be more tools when you understand that nothing is um you know can go against it in your reality. Everything is just like more variety, more tools, more things that will help you bring from this beautiful endless realm of playfulness, of characters, of different colors, just to bring actual superpowers into your daily life. So much more magic than you can
Mm,
even imagine. Whatever we can
I
imagine
can.
it exists, and also whatever we can't imagine. So it's like to gradually open our imagination more and more to imagine things that maybe we could not imagine before, but now that we can, see how it affects your life,
Mm.
how
You
much
touched
magic
on
can
something
actually
really
hold.
important, Lily. Like you said that it will answer all of your questions that you have. And oh man, that is like so true. Like it's so true. Like and I love that you said it because it's a very simple way of saying that the answer lies within you, but that feels very trite and dismissive. And the way that you said it was, if you simply connect in this way and you reestablish that connection through the play that you innately came here to exhibit and to experience, these questions that you have like floating around in your mind will kind of like move out through your embodiment of the answers. That's kind of how I felt that's what came through for me. Is that what you are
Yeah.
conveying for us?
And it's the best feeling ever. This clarity that's coming from in, it will always feel so much better than asking someone, even if you appreciate him a lot, and he's telling you like when something is coming from in. I have my D&D cube, which is here somewhere, and yeah, in the last like 2 years, I gave her the meaning of my higher self, of my soul. And I play with it a lot. I ask her a question like you would do with a pendulum or with cards, which is also just to create space for things to come from in. Yeah, you're
Mm,
using these different tools, these cards, this cube, this, but you bring in a playfulness to connect. So when I give her the meaning, she will never lie to me. She will always give me the answer to what I'm currently need right now. I would ask her a lot like, is this things that I'm kind of confused if to do it or not? How much from 1 to 20 would it, raise my frequency and make me feel joy? And she's so certain, like if it's 20, always. Like I have days when everything I ask is just 20, 20, 20, 20. Because she's like, you know it, girl. You're so certain. You don't need to be. I'm gonna just and it's
that's so
amazing just to find
cool.
like little spices to make to make life more playful.
You're describing with like the pendulum and creating a space. You're describing what I'm hearing is you're creating an architecture for this
Yeah.
joy to live within. And that is a beautiful metaphor for the human design system. The human design
Mm.
system is really just the architecture. I mean, not just the architecture, very important architecture is, right? It houses whatever energy you decide to facilitate resonance there. We have these abilities to do that, to infuse different architecture with different frequency. And that's what the human design system is in terms of our energetic soul signature frequencies here on Earth. It's this architecture to house and to contain and to help facilitate and nurture the growth of and the ability to express. And that's beautiful. And play is really like it's no different than just giving our joy an architecture with a game or a fun little ritual or something that we engage in with our surroundings that feels meaningful to us, right? This is a beautiful thing that's going to it's going to keep my soul tingling for a while. I'm really loving it.
This is why it's so magical. This is why human design is so magical, and you have such a deep, because it gives you the loving container, the structure to flow within. Because everything you bring, you could just, say something about, oh, this is your chart, this is your map, this is your authority, but you bring all of your intuition and soul and your connection through it, and it's so magical. And I'm sure people hearing that, and even if they don't understand what are these witches speaking about, what is this, they still feel it. They still feel like the excitement and the magic that is flowing right now. Yeah.
I think that we're all at the very precipice of something new. I think that the nature of this new paradigm that we are entering into, it's all about feeling these energies in our entire body. It's not about having these just, because the mind is one part of our body, and feeling energy flow through the mind is a powerful thing. We all know that. But there is this revival or this remembrance of this thing that we are becoming. It's kind of like this cyclical. We're becoming something new, but we're remembering who we are. And it is this feeling of how energy vibrates and how frequency moves through our entire body and what that can do for our awareness and just our experience in general. Like, we are here to relate to each other. And I believe that what you do is like a breadcrumb to help people to do that easier, because it is something new and it's something that not everyone is very familiar with yet,
Yeah. Those are very intimidating, and people are very it's very vulnerable to play. We do it as kids, like with kids. I've been a theater teacher and instructor all of my life, and with kids it's nothing for them. They can tap in a second to the imaginary world. They have no problem to bring all of their craziness, their character, the beautiful playful energy. But in some point as adults, we shut it away, and it become something that we're so many adults, so afraid to express that part of themselves, so afraid to be seen. We're very conditioned to limit ourselves to something that it will be very digestible. Okay, I know who I am and what I do and what is my favorite color and what do I want to do when I be grown up, and this is what I follow. We're multidimensional. We are so many things. We've always been, we will always be. And that's really scary for people that are not ready to tap into that. But if you can do it in a very even safe way, because it's very important that the anxiety won't be this high and and the intuition will be that, it needs to be balanced. So in order to really to play and to explore from this lens, but I think every even crumb, every little step that you take in this way, so much magic. And kids saying the most, I love kids. Kids are my companion. I can have the most amazing conversation with kids. And a kid told me, a son of a friend, he told me, Lily, I have superpowers. And I told him, oh, really? What superpowers do you have? And he said, all of them. And I said, really? Like, tell me about it. What does it mean? Say, yeah, when I'm like, I can imagine that I have every superpowers and it's working. And the other day, I imagined that I stopped time, so my mother will have more time to come pick me up, and it worked. And
Oh, wow.
and I was like, this is so good. This is like, and he said it like, so confident. And I asked him, can you teach me? And he said, I just did. And he was right. Like, it's as simple as that.
It feels so simple when you tap into it. I love that that the child's perspective of I just did tell you how to do it. Like it's so effortless when we are tapped into that innate ability that it's waiting for all of us, but
Yeah,
it feels
yeah,
so far away for so many is the irony. But I something I've noticed with my own children, my husband will joke with them and tell them, like, because my own children and other children, and I remember me as a child, we were like gunning to grow up. We just like wanted to not be seen as like the little kid. Like there was
yeah.
something so shameful about being so young and small. Like no one will take you seriously
Very
until you grow
limited.
up, you
Yeah.
know? And my husband tells my kids all the time, don't fall for it. It's a trap. Like don't
Don't do
try to
it.
grow up too fast. I promise you that you're gonna wish that you were here again. And it's yeah, kids, I love that you brought up kids, that they do have that natural tendency towards play very young. And I see the shift in my own children at around adolescence. I feel is when
Yeah,
there is a shift in energetic awareness of oneself. And it's kind of inevitable. It feels like we have to go into this darkness in order to really appreciate the light, kind of that allegorical metaphor. But it is definitely a phenomena that we all experience in childhood and adulthood.
wow.
Lili, I want to thank you so much for joining us today on Human Design Redefined. It has been a real gift to be in your energy, my dear,
I
and
had the
to
best time ever.
it's been awesome. Like
It's
I
awesome.
haven't met any self-projected projectors, and I love the how you have set right in my awareness, in my experience, what that means to be a self-projected projector, because I think many of us have this idea, those of us who study human design and are very lit up by it, we have this idea. And I love your embodiment of it, my dear. It's this playful energy with our audience has been a treat, and it's been such a gift to witness the living embodiment of you, a self-projected projector, and the revolution that you carry in your own unique way and your unique energetic signature. And to our listeners, if you have enjoyed this episode of Human Design Redefined, be sure to give us a thumbs up and to subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes that we have coming your way. And if you would like to connect more closely with our guest, Lili Kar, today, then you'll find her links waiting for you in the description and in the comments below.